On August 19th, Jamira Hall murdered her two children, Danira Thomas, a girl aged 6, and Davin Thomas, a boy aged 8. What would make a mother murder her only two children? These are social media posts just months before the murders.
Try again tomorrow. His face is priceless. Look at Get into it. Infusion, not confusion. Infusion, not confusion. No, yeah. You right. Try again tomorrow.
Neighbors of Jamira Hall told investigators they heard one of the children screaming, "Mommy, no!" days before they were found dead in their Baltimore apartment. The plea is believed to have come from Danira Thomas, age 6, just days before she and her 8-year-old brother Davin were found by a maintenance worker who entered the residence to look into complaints of a foul smell coming from the unit. Their mother, Jamira Hall, 28, was not home at the time. She admitted to the killings when she was found and is being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and is currently being held without bail. When Baltimore police officers responded to the home, they found Davin lying face down in a sleeping bag in the living room with a large knife still in his chest. A plastic trash bag was wrapped around his face and head, authorities said. His sister was found lying naked in a bathtub with clothing wrapped around her neck. Both bodies were in a state of decomposition. Their mother, Jamira Hall, was last seen with the children outside of the apartment building on August 19th. Neighbors told police they heard screaming coming from someone inside of the home later that evening, believed to be Danira Thomas. Hall's mother told police on August 23rd that she was told her daughter Jamira was in the hospital and that the children had been taken by their father. The children's father later told investigators that he had not seen the children. The father said he last saw Hall on August 24th on the street screaming and cursing at no one, and that she appeared to be under the influence. She was tracked down by investigators later in an Uber and taken into custody. She has had previous run-ins with the law before. In 2018, there was an incident where she set her mother's home on fire, disabled the smoke detectors, and burned family photos. Authorities said the images had been assembled into something described as an altar. An alert was issued for the children at the time, who were found at a nearby hospital. Jamira Hall was sentenced to a year in prison for first-degree arson, but kept custody of the kids. The charging documents regarding the murder of the children reveal gruesome details. According to charging documents, Hall drowned and strangled her daughter, 6-year-old Danira Thomas. Her brother, 8-year-old Davin Thomas, was found in a sleeping bag, and when a forensic examiner turned him over, a large knife was in the right side of his chest. A trash bag was around his face and neck. Jamira had once recorded a podcast where she appeared to reference the joys and struggles of motherhood. "Y'all been driving me crazy, but I love y'all," she said in a melodic tone. A young person believed to be one of her children responded to that by saying, "I love you too." Hall has been charged with 2 counts each of first-degree murder first-degree assault, and reckless endangerment. She is currently represented by the Public Defender's Office, who requested a competency evaluation for her, and the judge granted that request. Jamera Hall is currently being held without bond. So all I can say about this case is wow. What would make a mother kill her only 2 children? Looking at the Facebook post when I was doing the research for this video, I was very taken aback. Just looking at the post months leading up to the murders, you would never think that this girl was going to kill her only 2 children. I mean, social media is a big smoke and mirror. It is a big illusion anyway. But to just see these posts, just to look at these kids, just to see her trying to have her CBD infused products. She looked to be a CNA. She had a career. She was trying to work, trying to make ends meet. I know that it must have been hard as a single mother, you know, a young girl. But what would make you kill your kids? I mean, to actually start the act and finish it, that's really blazing, you know, to start drowning your daughter and she's splashing around. I could just imagine what their last moments were like on this earth. And just to know that she had once tried to set the house on fire with them in it, and the system still allowed her to retain custody of these children. Where was the system? Where was Child Protective Services? They failed these kids, the grandmother failed these kids, and the father of these children failed them. It is obvious that this girl had mental health issues. It's obvious that she was in an emotional, stressful situation. It is obvious that there needed to be an intervention. There needed to be some reprieve. She needed a break. She needed help. This just brings me to the point of being a neighbor. Sometimes if you hear something, these neighbors heard the children. They heard a scream. Mommy, no? And nobody goes to check and see what it was. Nobody knocks on the door and say, are you all right in there? I know that black people were taught to stay out of people's business. I know that we don't want to be snitches, all of these things. But sometimes we have to use our sixth sense and we have to use our common sense. You heard that scream. It sounded not quite right. All it would have taken is someone to knock on the door, someone to intervene, and maybe those children would be here today. Minding your business and being quiet and being complacent while a crime is taking place, those are 2 different things. So to know that later down, you know, once they smelled and the maintenance person opened the door, and what they found, the scene that they found, the gruesome scene, to know that the baby girl was drowned, the baby boy was stabbed, and to know that maybe the neighbors could have done something, this is horrific. It is horrific, it's sad. And just to even look at these posts, to see the heartless look in her eyes just a day after she had murdered her children. Posted up with some guy, I can only assume that she was in some type of a relationship with this person. I do not know if this was the father of the children. I do not know. But this was posted a day after the murders. She has no emotion in her eyes, no life in her eyes. She's just staring. And then to be seen in the streets by the baby daddy, appearing to be intoxicated, to be on something, wandering through the streets, screaming at nobody, apparently in a state of confusion, and no one does anything. You just see her and you don't call for help. You don't call a family member. You saw her in the street, apparently high, apparently in a state of panic, and you do nothing. You don't seem to know where your kids are. You're not concerned about where they are. She had killed the kids then. The kids were dead in the house then. So this is a sad story. This is very sad. and I don't take this lightly. This is not something that, is to be taken lightly. This is a very sad story, but it just hones in on the message that you never know what's going on in someone's home. Your neighbors, whether you like them or you don't, whether you want to stay out of their business, if you see that something is going on and they need help or something is not quite right, and you know that there are children, someone needs to intervene. We have to start really protecting Black people. We have to really start believing that Black lives matter, that we want to protect Black women, we want to protect Black children. We have to stop with this, I mind my business, I don't get in people's business, I don't snitch, I don't tell, I don't intervene. Sometimes an intervention is necessary. So you guys, comment below and let me know what you think about this story. This is our first episode of the Frightober, the uploads that we're going to be doing for the month of October. This is going to be a weekly upload, and it will be stories about neighbors. It will be stories past, present, about things that were happening right next door and people did not know. I believe that this is something that we need to talk about as a community. We need to call it out and we need to expose it, because we need to stop with this rationale that if we see something happening, if we see a crime taking place, if we see people in danger, people in need of help, that if it isn't our business, we mind our business. Sometimes we need to intervene. We just might save a life. That concludes this edition of Fear Thy Neighbor on the Sweet Pea Diaries Frightober. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We will be keeping this content coming throughout the month of October. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, bye.